Alright guys, so figured I'd drop another update. Last video I posted, we had our little cruise up and down the street in a celebratory burnout. I didn't fill anybody in on the drama in between that. So last time we left off, I was getting ready to drop the oil pan so that we could change the oil pan gasket, just make it easier. Oil pan's down, I can put the timing cover on, still use the dowels, and put the pan back up. Unfortunately, couldn't get the pan down far enough with the cross member in the car, so we actually wound up taking the entire front suspension loose, taking the K-member out, hanging the motor from a cherry picker while it was still in the car, and it was still a pain in the butt. But we did successfully get everything back together. We had one little small seep on the front of the pan, so we got it hot, retorqued all the bolts in the pan, and the leak went away. So we are officially leak-free. Had a small transmission leak, got that fixed as well. So it's finally holding all the fluids it's supposed to. Kind of just a note to anybody out there, Fel-Pro is king. Don't know why I did this, but coming back together with the car, had a Moroso pan on it. When I reordered the new oil pan gasket, I was like, hey, Moroso pan, we'll run a Moroso gasket, and it'd be great, right? Because they go together. Wrong. So wrong. Don't waste your money on a Moroso gasket, even if you have a Moroso pan. Just buy the Fel-Pro and be done with it. Because I'm sure we wouldn't have had the small leak that we had afterwards had I bought the Fel-Pro versus the Moroso. The Moroso had a little steel supports around just the bolt holes, whereas a Fel-Pro, both the sides of the gasket that are on the long axis of the pan have the metal inserts. So it squished out the passenger side of the pan. I had to go back and readjust it a bunch of times, put some RTV on it. So not the cleanest install I've ever done. As far as it goes, I don't know if we can get down there and see the oil. No, can't see it. Anyways, there's a lot of RTV on the bottom, so hopefully she holds together. Also, note to anybody out there, we switched over to the electric water pump this year. This is a Summit brand electric water pump. Unfortunately, when I tore the motor apart, of course it ruined the gaskets. And through shopping through Summit, they do not sell, or at least I couldn't find, the replacement gaskets for this interface right here. Wow, that's hot. Between this interface right here. So we wound up going back with just the Tough Stuff RTV, and it sealed the first time perfectly, and everything's been great with it. So highly recommend that Tough Stuff. Been kind of working on trying to get transmission fluid levels correct. Unfortunately, Google was wrong. Go figure that. I think when I looked it up, a C4 trans stock with an empty converter was supposed to be 8 quarts. We have an oversized pan on the car this year. That adds another 2 quarts total. But, brain fart on my part, Google's may be right. This is not a stock converter in this car. This is an 8-inch converter instead of, I think a stock is a 10 or a 12. So we got it way over full. I've drained so many quarts of transmission fluid out of this thing trying to get back to the correct fluid level. And I think we're finally there. I just pulled it out this morning, had it up on jack stands, running it, going through the gears. And I think I finally got the fluid level right. Got a weird clunk in third gear. I think it may be an alignment issue. We noticed when we put the motor in with this K-member, something seems to be tweaked. And I'm not sure, this car has been a race car for a long time. I'm not sure if the chassis slightly tweaked. And when we put that nice new straight K-member in there, the transmission was off to one side of the tunnel. So we pulled the motor in and out a couple of times, tried to get it lined up as best we can. But the drive shaft, I think, going into third, I don't know if maybe it's a torque multiplier or what, but it seems like it might be forcing the drive shaft over and running into the drive shaft loop. Hopefully that's not it. Hopefully it was that it was over full on fluid. It's Sunday. I live right across the street from a church, so I had to wait for church to get out before I can drive it up and down the street. Trying to be the kind of good neighbor guy. But, yeah, so we're back running, just like in the last video. We're ironing out the kinks. It goes this coming Friday to get an alignment on the front, finally. Got a guy coming over. He's going to tint all the windows, so I'm not sitting in a fishbowl anymore. And then hopefully that following week, we're off to the tuners and then off to the track, as long as she holds together. But keep in tune for some more updates, guys. Appreciate it.